Hello everybody, welcome to this edition of Mr. J's Geek Corner. Place to talk about anything and everything that is geek, will be TV, comics, movies, or video games. And before I jump into this week's topic, I wanted to bring this to y'all's attention. A few days ago, me and my lovely wife Ellen were at the store, and we were just looking around various things, trying to get some groceries, a few little grocery items anyway. We were over there on the cereal aisle, and I happened to take notice that on the front of a box of Tricks, they are starting to offer, because of the new Star Wars movie Force Awakens coming out this year. They are starting, that particular General Mills cereals is starting to offer Star Wars movie posters. And of course I got one. I said they had them of all 6 movies from episode 1 to episode 6. And I happened to get, I didn't like Tricks that good. I don't like Tricks that good. So I got Cookie Crisp. And this is the poster I got. I got one for episode 4, A New Hope. Here it is right here. You can see it. It's that big. It takes up the entire screen. It's like a little small pull-out poster, and I'm saying it's very good. This is a very good deal to get with a box of cereal. Let me tell you. But we actually got another one the other day, thinking maybe they had one in a different box, and it wound up being, if you can see right there, the name, the exact same one that I got here in my hand. So. We're thinking that maybe over the next few months they'll start putting more and more of them out, and maybe they'll show whatever they have in the box on the box. So stay tuned, because I may pop back up on here one day with the one I actually wanted, Empire Strikes Back. So definitely stay tuned for that. But if you interested, they're in boxes of Tricks, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Honey Nut Cheerios, Reese's Puffs, and Cookie Crisp. So definitely be on the lookout with those cereals for these posters. Definitely. So I thought that was well worth mentioning. So because this is a really cool offer. I mean, they haven't done anything this cool since those DC comics they put out last year. So definitely be on the lookout for those. But straight to today's topic. As y'all know, the newest issue of Superman came out this week. Or last week, issue 43 actually came out like a couple days after my birthday, which was last week. It came out, and I was reading some of the spoilers online. Just last night, I was reading the review. I was reading the review for issue 43, and let's say this guy didn't give it too kindly a review, because, as you know, over the last several months, I've really been raking this whole truth thing over the coals, like everything from the suit, the lack of powers, his attitude, and everything. But I've gotten at least one out there that has challenged me to read the comics, actually read them before I make snap judgments, and I have actually been reading some of the comics that have come with this. Not all of them yet, but I've been reading all of the Action Comics one. I will say about the Action Comics ones with this true story, the art is very good. It's actually good. If you compare Action Comics to the John Romita Jr. stuff on Superman, Action Comics is far superior. I mean, the art is very good, but I'm just still not feeling the story. I'm really not. I'm just not feeling the story all that much. Because, well, I mean, you can't, I mean, like as you say, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I mean, I am giving this a chance, and I am reading this, but as I said, I'm just not. I'm still not feeling this. I mean, the whole shadow creature thing and all this stuff, I'm just still not feeling this. I mean, I get more of the bigger picture now that I'm actually reading this. But I'm just still not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. But with this whole thing that has now been coming out in the page, it has now come out in this new issue of Superman. Basically, this reveals the real reason why Lois Lane blurted Superman's identity out to the world. I mean, in the beginning, I said it was because of selfishness and opportunist. I basically called her a jerk. Basically called her a first-class jerk, and I was like, what is DC doing here and all this? Now I know what's happened. And I'm going to just say, so brace yourself, spoiler alert. If you're reading this and don't want to and haven't got the issue yet, then don't listen to this yet. But if you want me to spoil the whole thing, brace yourself, here we go. But basically, the whole thing's boiled down to they're blackmailing Superman. They're blackmailing. They know his identity. They've stolen a good majority of his powers as of the last issue. And they've stolen most of his powers as of the last issue. They've been... I said they're basically blackmailing his secret identity. They're threatening to release his identity to the world unless he does something for them. Unless he gives them the rest of his powers, they will reveal his identity to the world. And Lois, and basically almost like, I think in the course of the issue, is like he and Lois are starting to form a bond. And from what I've been looking at, you would almost get the hint that Superman and Lois, that they're almost trying to, there's almost a spark there of the old relationship from the Pre-52, Lois and Clark. It's like they're almost, it's almost on the verge of like they're almost trying to rebuild it, which is a shock. So like it's almost like it gives illusions to that. But and at the end, and towards the end of the issue, she actually blurts his identity out, publishes his identity, secret identity, to the entire world. Basically taking the fuel away from the villains who are basically, excuse me for a second. Sorry, something on the desk. Just basically taking the punch away from the villains of the story. And basically, she takes it out of the control out of their hands and basically blurts it to the entire world. And needless to say, this ticks Superman off royally. It's basically like he feels betrayed, and basically he now feels betrayed by her and wishes he hadn't told her and everything. And it's basically really upset her. And basically, as I had said, it looked like before that she had betrayed him for a story or felt betrayed by him, and so ticked with him that she decides to, I'll teach you a lesson or two. It's like she did it for the most noble of reasons. It's like she really cares about him and was really trying to take it out of the hands of the villains, but instead it's really ticked him off. Really ticked him off. But the way some sites are alluding to is like, what if this leads into that story, into that part of into that issue where, into that like preview image where he says to Wonder Woman that he doesn't love her anymore. What if they are almost trying to rebuild the Didioverse? It's almost like they're trying to take everything and rebuild it back. Which is weird, because for the longest time, ever since this story started, it's like everything is in disarray now. There is no Bruce as Batman. The Superman is now not super anymore. It's almost like they're about to try to rebuild him, like they're rebuilding him like his old-timey self from the ground up. And I have a lot of folks saying, including this one certain one that's been telling me on there, it's like I've been acting more like Pre-52 Superman than ever before, and I'm gonna say it. In some of the issues, you almost get that inkling. You really do. And it's like even in this, he is. And it's like in a way, it's almost like they're trying to put him back, like all the pieces they've had all these years, and try to build it back. After Convergence, it's like they're trying to basically knock the rest of the pieces down. It's like they're trying to put it all back together again. It's almost like eventually you're going to see him and Lois get together. And all I have to say is, if he gets his full powers back, what if all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we see a certain suit with a pair of trunks on. We see him don a certain costume with a pair of red trunks on the front of him. Could it be possible that they are really rebuilding him into the old Superman again? Could they be taking this new 52 Didioverse version of Superman and be remaking him into the pre-52 version, pre-Flashpoint version of Superman? Could be. That's the illusions I see. Of course, we also know how they could turn up a few months later and just knock everything down that you've known before. But it could happen. I mean, and also with this whole, how would it fit into this whole Superman Lois and Clark book? Would we see this kind of action happen in that book? Who knows? I mean, you're going to have, you're basically, with that story, you're going to have two Supermen running around at the same time. You're going to have Pre-52, which is in secret, and you're going to have the Didioverse version running around being observed by him. So you don't know what's going to happen, and you never know. New 52 may turn into Pre-52. You don't never know. And may turn him back into his old self again. Who knows? I personally would love to see the old costume come back into play again. I would love to see, I mean, they're saying his old attitude is coming back into play, and I kind of see that a little bit. But I'm going to say, in terms of the stories, I'm still not feeling it. It's like they cannot write a story. I mean, I'm going to also say about Superman, the artwork still sucks. It is still terrible. It is still John Romita's horrible artwork. And I'm gonna say, you read a lot of the stuff he reads you see a lot of stuff. You read a lot of his comments in terms of Superman stuff. He don't like Superman. You get that inkling from him. He spent his whole time writing Spider-Man. Drawing Spider-Man. Spent all his time drawing Spider-Man. You put him on Superman, there's an open hatred there. There's almost an open hatred for Superman there, and everything that is Superman. Along the lines of like, he and Lois don't belong together and all that kind of garbage. Like, they need to be apart forever. They should never get back together again. Who's he to determine that? He's just an artist, and not a good one. He's terrible. I mean, it's like, and I know I'm being super harsh when I say this, but his artwork looks like vomit. It's like somebody vomited paint onto a page. I'm sorry, but it just does. It's terrible. And I read the review last night of this said issue. Everything was bad. Everything was bad. And I'm going to say it, there are a lot, other than a few highlights I told you that almost allude to like the return to a pre-52 sort of state of mind about some stuff, there's still a lot of stuff that's in there that really does not belong. Like, well, stuff I can't even talk about here on this program because it's not family friendly. It is not exactly family friendly content, but they're talking about very adult subjects in that book. And I'll just quote the reviewer saying, this is not Grayson, this is Superman. This is supposed to be probably the single greatest superhero in the DC universe. And they're putting this crap that I can't talk about into this comic. I mean, I know there's a lot of y'all out there that know what I'm talking about and know that I will not talk about that kind of subject matter on this show, but you know what I'm talking about, and if you don't, well, you'll be offended. And let me tell you, if you ever take a peek at this, because I was, and so was my wife Ellen. Ellen was definitely offended by this, and so was I. That kind of garbage don't belong in a book like this. But back to the subject at hand. He gave the story a 1, and he gave the art a 1. And about the only thing he really gave a good grade to was an overall good grade to was the bombshell variant of Supergirl. On the front of the bombshell variant, cover that had Supergirl, Bombshell Supergirl on. He gave that like a 5 or a 6. He gave that as high as it'll go on their scale. But either way, the story itself and the artwork itself, he gave a 1. And I'm gonna say I agree. A lot of stuff I read about happening in that book is garbage, pure and simple garbage. But overall, the overall meaning of my topic here is that it's like they're going, almost like you see shades of the old Lois and Clark relationship coming back. I mean, other than her, and then her doing that to try to save him from losing his powers and not being exactly being super anymore. Basically saving his life and his abilities and his any superness he has left. By revealing his identity to the world. I mean, that doesn't sound like a very drastic move, but she did it with the noblest of intentions, I guess you could say. She did it to save him, but in the end, she just ended up hurting him. But other than that, a lot of what I feel in there, what I felt in the insinuations I've been getting is like they're going to try to put Lois and Clark back to Superman and Lois back together again. It's like they've been reassembling Superman. They've been reassembling everything you know about Superman. And to me, that looks like a good thing. I mean, if they slowly but surely start building back up to the Didioverse into almost being the some semblance of the Pre-52, that would be amazing. That would be great. That would be so great as far as I'm concerned. Because then the Pre-52 will live again. So I'm gonna say it. If that's what they're building towards is Pre-52 returning in some way, shape, or form, more power to them. Because again, if Superman goes back to acting like Superman again, and he goes back to being together with Lois, that would be great. Because almost the next logical step would be him donning his old costume again. Would be a return to the old tights and red trunks traditional look that we've all known and loved for 70 some odd years now. I guess you could say about 77 now. For 77 years, the look we've known and the Superman we've known for 77 years will be back. And that would be great. It would be great to see that happen. Because, like I said, I can't take no more of the Didioverse stuff. I mean, I get tired of hearing about stuff. I mean, I'm going to just hear it won't look like a cat. It won't just look like somebody trying to make money off something. It'll look like they're actually trying. Especially if they get a good story writer on there. Because it don't sound like, again, this story don't sound like anything good. Except for the fact that it sounds like that Lois and Clark may be heading back to being a couple again. And personally, I would love to see that happen. Because it's more steps to the Pre-52 returning. And if it does return to that, what's next? Batman? Wonder Woman? Green Lantern? Flash? It would be great to see the Pre-52 return in this time. It really would. And I hope, beyond hope, that happens. But what do y'all think? Y'all think that's what? Do y'all pick up that kind of? Do y'all pick that up from this latest issue of Superman? Did y'all like this? Did y'all hate it? Do y'all not see that? Y'all see something completely different from what I'm seeing? Let me know. As always, drop a comment in the comment box. I would love to hear what y'all have to say on this subject. And I guess that's all for this week's edition of Mr. J's Geek Corner. And as always, you have a comment about the show whatsoever, drop a comment in the comment box. I would love to hear what y'all have to say. Like, subscribe, share with all your friends, tell all your friends. Y'all have any ideas for topics you'd like to hear me discuss and analyze here on the show, drop me a comment box. I'm always looking for fresh, new things and topics to discuss and talk about here on this show. So definitely drop your ideas in the comment box. I would love to hear from you, and I would love to hear your ideas. And long live the Pre-52, and I'll see y'all next time.